welcome back to another episode of You Reaching or Teaching. I am your host, Derek.
And I'm your boy Aaron.
What's good with y'all? How you feeling today, my boy?
Man, look, I just had this realization, it's the holiday times, happy holidays to everybody. I've been watching Christmas specials and Christmas movies and everything. And then I went to my Christmas music. I like my Christmas music.
You done started that already?
Oh, I've been started since
Been
December
on it.
1st. Since December 1st, I've been on it. And two things hit me because I was listening. One, Chris Brown, he did a few Christmas songs like 2 years ago. He need to just do another whole Christmas album, personally.
Big facts.
Like, in all seriousness, not just being a Chris Brown fan, but just he does that type of genre well.
That's a fact. Cause that's it's like when Halloween come around, I always tell people the only thing I need to look at is Hocus Pocus and Halloween Town. And then when Christmas come around, only thing I need to listen to is Silent Night and Chris Brown This Christmas. That's the only thing I need to listen to.
Oh,
Forget Mariah Carey. I don't need to listen to her no more.
oh no, I'm sick of that.
Yeah, I've been over Mariah Carey. Yeah, she good. Yeah,
No, I feel you. Just like a good like 8 song Christmas album, maybe 10. He can redo this Christmas and put like other artists into it.
yeah.
Um, just other like creative songs, like things like that. He could really make a good Christmas album instead of just songs. So,
Facts. I seen
but then, mhm,
Brandy was making an album, right? A
yeah,
Christmas album. I think I seen Coco Jones doing an album maybe or like a song or something.
I don't know much about that.
Yeah.
But then this the other thing that hit me, and this ain't Christmas related, is in 2024, I got to start listening to Future less because the thing is
Why?
this because I catch myself agreeing with some of the stuff. I was in the car. He said, "I cheat on you, you cheat on me. You ain't loyal." And I'm just like, "Yeah," and I'm like,
You
"Whoa."
right? You right? Shoot.
I cheat on you, you cheat on me. You
You
ain't
know,
loyal.
even
Like,
though even though he toxic, it doesn't mean he wrong.
that's the thing. Like, is he wrong though? Like with some of the stuff he be saying when uh, he hit me with a bar. He said he had a threesome with a Muslim and a Christian. He swapped out religions, felt like Jesus Christ when he did it. I said, "Damn."
That boy talking, boy. That boy talking.
I said,
Shout out to the Toxic King. Shout
yes,
out to
yes.
the Toxic King.
All praises to the Most High. Um,
That
when
boy
I
is stupid.
it's just hearing that, and then the joint he did with Metro Boomin, smoking dope, turn me to a superhero. I was like, all right, I'm I'm liking this too much. I need to dial back.
That's crazy. Oh man, but we're gonna go ahead and get into the sports talk. We're recording again Sunday, uh December 10th. Yesterday we had the championship for the in-season tournament. The Lakers defeated the Indiana Pacers. How we feel about that game? And that game don't count for pretty much anything. It's just an extra game for the season. The stats don't even count. But how we feel about that game?
um, I would. I said this from the jump. I hate the in-season tournament idea. Um, I I personally think it's pointless because, as you know, I'll go into that later. I still think it's pointless, but for right now, when I think of the game, I think it was cool. I think it was competitive. Um, but I also think that it was nice to see people mentally compete. It's like every team from like the Lakers versus the Pelicans to the Bucks versus the Pacers, everybody had that sense of they wanted to win. And I think that has been the point of the in-season tournament, but it shouldn't take an in-season tournament for you to be competitive.
Facts.
Like that's just my biggest takeaway from it.
Yeah, see, I have the same perspective. Like I agree with all of that, but I have like a different perspective after it's over and everything now. It's
Mhm.
like I think where they had the in-season tournament as at the beginning of the season, I think it helped. Cause we had this conversation before where it's like at the beginning of the season, teams are still trying to figure things out. It may not be, you know, it may
Mm-hmm.
just be all over the place and everything like that. But just having the the tournament at the beginning of the season, I think it added extra competitiveness um, to the games at the beginning of the season, so that can carry over to All Star Weekend and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I didn't understand it at first, but then I started understanding it better. I I think it's I guess the incentive that they have for it, where everyone get 500,000. That's probably the biggest thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Biggest thing to the players and coaches, especially those players that really don't have a guaranteed contract and the stuff of that nature. But I
Mm-hmm.
think it helped with the like I said, I think it helped with the competitiveness at the beginning of the season. I know that game we played against the Pelicans was pointless though. Like we just
Yeah.
whooped like we whooped their ass, and we could get into that too. Zion, I don't know if you seen that
Oh,
comment
I
about them
I
with the
saw
diet
Shaq
and
getting to his
conditioning.
ass. Yep.
Yeah, so we can get into that later too. So, but I think it might be. I probably would need to see it another year or two to see, you know, how effective it is throughout the season. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but I think overall, I didn't mind it at the end of the day after understanding the format and everything like that.
Mm-hmm. My only question though is like, is the 500K guaranteed? That's
Yeah.
what I want to know. It is guaranteed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's just like, because this is just what my
Cause
brain
yeah,
goes.
so all the players get 500K,
Okay.
coaches get 500K,
Mm-hmm.
and I think okay, don't quote me on this, but I think assistant coaches or whatever, I think they get like 250 or some shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It just looking at it from the player's perspective, like if I'm like, because there's three dudes on the roster for the Lakers who have two-way contracts that are only like a few $100,000, because then now they'll be making like 1 million. Like,
Right.
okay, cool. It's like I'm just thinking about you live in California, it's expensive. You probably at this stage, if you have a house, cool. If you have an apartment, cool. You paying for that. You paying for if you have a dietitian, a nutritionist, a personal chef, a personal trainer. It's just like at the end of the day, that money is going to a lot of those other places. So I feel like you lost more than you got, that in a way. But it's just like, unless they're just amazing with their money, I hope that they are. Like,
Yeah.
genuinely, I hope that they are. It's just like, I don't fully see this as a win if I have to pay these expenses as well with it. Like, yeah, you helped me not be broke for a month,
True.
because a lot of rookies do have that thing where they see that $1 million contract, think, oh, I get it now. Like, no. So I just hope that there has been financial education with this money, as well as like responsibility,
Yeah.
because it's it's real easy to blow 500K. I like, in all seriousness,
For
it's
so
I
for so for people that never had it before,
yep,
you know.
exactly. Like, just being real, you give me 500K right now, personally, half of it's gonna be gone in a month. Like, probably not even a month, like 15 days.
That's a
Because
fact.
I'm not gonna be irresponsible, but I'm going to spend it.
That's the thing. Yep.
Hmm.
I always told myself that if I get a certain amount of money, I already know what I'm gonna do with it. Like I
Yep.
already know like all the debt I'm gonna pay off, all the family debt. But then after
Hmm.
that, buy me a house,
Yep.
own the house. That's what we always talk about, ownership and stuff like that. So why not buy
Hmm.
me a house? Why not buy me property? You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So I
Yep.
understand it.
Exactly. Because right now, if you give me that 500K, period, 250 of it, I'm paying off my student loans. What you call it? I'm buying a property, like I'm buying like a house. I'm gonna try to pay it off if possible. But I would do something like I would get an extra car, but I would pay the car off and I would buy it. Like, that's just being completely real. I would spend it, but I wouldn't be irresponsible. But I
Right.
probably would do some shit too, like, oh, okay, I always wanted like this trench coat. Let me get
Yeah.
this trench coat, something like that.
Facts. But you would hope the NBA got something set up. I'm not sure if they do or not, where they teach players financial literacy,
Yeah.
especially those players that just doing like that don't even go to college to go overseas and then come back to the NBA,
Hmm.
or the ones that just go to college for a year
Yep.
and then go to the NBA. Yeah, so excuse me. So I hope the NBA got something, or the team specifically got something set up where these players know how to spend their money wisely. But you never know.
Hmm.
You never know.
No,
Especially, when you get when you touch that type of money. Of course, I don't have that experience, but I already know it's like, bam, like I came from nothing,
hmm.
and then you gave me this.
Yep.
But I'm about to, especially if I live in LA. Shoot,
Yep.
I'm in the parties every night.
Oh, I'm going somewhere.
Every night. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, hopefully they do got something set up to
Yep.
benefit the players.
Yep. But that's all I like. That was just like my piece about that right there.
Thanks. Cool, cool, cool. But some accomplishment that I want to mention was I see James Harden. He moved up to the 18th on the all-time assist list.
Oh,
Congrats to him.
congratulations.
Luca, he moved up to the ninth on the triple double list. Shout out to Luca.
Hey.
And then so shout out to KD as well, who moved up to top 10 scorer of all time. So I don't have the updated I've been sick this weekend, so I didn't get an updated list, but the last time I updated it was, so KD was only like 800 points behind Carmelo.
Oh wow.
So top 10 is LeBron, Kareem, Carmelo, Kobe, Michael, Dirk, Wilt, Shaq, Carmelo, then KD.
Hmm.
Where do you think KD would finish when his career is over?
He only need 800 more points.
To pass Carmelo.
That's Katie third.
And I feel like he'll get that this season, honestly.
800 more points this season.
Played 20 games. Yeah, like 6 games left. So you gotta think about it.
Mhm.
If he only if you do the math, if he only score like 15 per game, he'll still get that.
You're right. You're right.
Yep.
It's just my only question is just his health because KD's
Mm-hmm.
health has been a big question in the past few years. So if if he could be how he's been, oh yeah, he got it this year, no question. He'll get that. But if he has an injury and he's out for like 2 3 months, he'll
Yeah.
get it at the start of next season, probably around November.
Facts.
Yeah, early November.
Yeah, I see him. I think KD probably have. I get KD probably like 4 more years in the
Yeah,
NBA. I think he'll finish. Just looking at the numbers, I think he has the potential to finish top. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think he has the potential to finish top five.
in scoring,
Yeah.
the potential is there. I'll agree with that. The potential is definitely there.
Um, because usually a good score like him, of course, you have to factor in the healthy part.
Hmm.
But a elite scorer like him will get at least 1,500 points in a season.
Yeah,
So you get at, so if I say 4 more years, that means that's 6,000 more points. And
hmm,
then if let's see, yeah, so if he gets 6,000 more points, then yeah, he'll definitely be top five past Jordan. Uh, but once again, that's only if he stay healthy. But I can see him. I can see him. I can see him passing it though.
yeah. I give him.
If not top five, definitely top 6 or 7. Because he'll definitely pass Carmelo and Shaq. He only
Yeah,
is like he behind Shaq like 1,100 points currently, and then Wilt Chamberlain is close to 3,900.
mm.
So, but yeah, he'll definitely pass Carmelo and Shaq. So yeah, I see him top 6 or top 7. By the time he finishes his career.
I'm not gonna argue. I wouldn't argue that. I just will hope that he gets it.
Yeah, facts. So far in the season, it's been an interesting season so far, especially with the in season tournament happening. Um, what's the player? and team that you most impressed with so far? I think it's probably like 20, 21 games so far in the
Mhm.
season already. So
Player,
yeah,
player. I'm not gonna go with the obvious, which is Halliburton. I'm gonna go with Joel Embiid. He's been playing very well. Um, I think that sometimes we don't pay enough attention to Joel Embiid. It's like we only care when he get like 30, but he can have a good game getting 22, like 15, and like 4 blocks, 3 blocks. So it's just his consistency as well as his health. I've been impressed with. So
facts. And what
yes, and he is the reigning MVP. So
that is
he's
true.
he's playing well for the reigning MVP.
And what team you most impressed with currently?
The team I'm most impressed with currently. Mm-mm. That's a great question, Derek. And you asked me this yesterday. But I really have been thinking about it because the team I've been impressed with currently, I'm going to say Sacramento,
Okay.
just because they really look like a team. Like they have everything you need to be a good competing team in the NBA. And I like it. Like they play good basketball, they play good defense, they pass the ball well, they rebound well, they score well. They're a solid B+ team who can upset an A+ team.
Facts.
Yeah.
I agree. Um, so the player I am going with the obvious, Halliburton.
Mm-hmm.
He just been, he's been playing at a top level. Especially with the assist turnover ratio that he has, especially the past few games. I think we did a good job containing him yesterday in the
Mm-hmm.
championship, but I think overall he's really solidified himself as an all-star, like
Mm-hmm.
as an all-star, even maybe even an all-star starter. Um, I'm not sure, especially with in the East. Yeah, especially in the East. I don't know. I don't. I'm not sure what point guard is playing better than him.
And he's going to be a starter this year because aren't they going back to East versus West this year?
Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, he's definitely starting. The only other guard I can see right now who would start either with him or over him would be Drew, but that's it. But Halliburton is playing better than Drew, so
do you think? Do you? Me personally, I would pit Maxi over Drew. I think Maxi is
that's
playing
fair.
fairly well.
This season, that's
Yeah,
fair. That's
yeah,
fair.
yeah. Just for this season, yeah.
Yeah,
But I would definitely pit Maxi over Drew. From the way he's been playing.
that is completely
Um,
fair.
but yeah, but I think the team, even though I haven't watched them much, I just seen like the highlights and just been surprised that they're actually, winning games. Is the Magic.
The Magic,
Yep.
man, I don't know what got into them, but
Yeah. I see that they currently have two players averaging over 20.
mhm.
And then I think when I last looked, they was top five in steals in the
Wow.
NBA. And then currently they are second in the East at 15 and 7, right behind Boston.
Dang.
And I think they are, let's see, 57. They're tied with, even though they're second, they're tied. They got the same record as Milwaukee,
Mm.
but they are top. Yeah, they're have a top five record overall in the league right now. So I think the coach over there is doing a good job with a young team. I think the oldest player that I seen over there was Ingles.
Mhm.
He was 36, and then the next oldest player was 29, and then after that it just got younger and younger. So they got a young team over there, but it seems like they're doing a good job. I think if they add maybe not even a key veteran, but some type of veteran on the team, I
Mhm.
think that would put them over the hump in the next 2 seasons maybe. Because I feel like the way they're playing now, if they continue playing the way they're playing, they'll definitely make the playoffs. Probably top five in the East.
Mhm.
But I don't see, just from the inexperience, I don't see them getting out the first round. So But yeah, the Magic definitely has impressed me so far this season. So hopefully, I mean, hopefully they get. I ain't a hater, so hopefully they can continue that play. So
Yeah, it's very interesting because before this year, I always have seen the Magic like the past few years with Cole Anthony, Isaac, um, Wagner, I forgot to say Val,
mhm.
like
Wagner, yeah,
yeah, Wagner, Ben Carroll. To me, that's just like that's a good college team. Like, they'll be a really good college team, but they've done well this year. They deserve their respect.
facts. How you like do you see? Because I originally I had but I took him out. How you pronounce his name? Paolo. Uh, the main person on the Magics.
I know.
From Duke.
Oh, Pablo Banquero?
Pablo. Yeah.
Banquero, yeah.
Um, I did have him at the on my list for most improved.
Hmm.
How do we feel about his play so far this season?
I think that the team's play has overshadowed his play.
Mm,
It's they just work so well that it's not, oh, Banquero had a great night and the Magic won. It's just the Magic had a great night. So, but he's doing well. He's improved his 3-point shooting. I always wanted Pablo to play more aggressive because even like watching him play at Duke, he's very flashy. He's like 6'10", but he's very perimeter oriented. So it's nice to see him be more aggressive and not afraid to like bang with somebody.
yeah. Yep. So shout out to them, shout out to Magic, shout out to all the players so far.
Hmm.
So something that happened, excuse me, something that happened pretty much a couple weeks ago was pretty much another chapter in the Chris Paul and Scott Foster book.
Hmm.
Scott Foster ejected Chris Paul out the game against. I think they was playing against the Suns when they ejected Chris Paul.
Hmm.
Um, do you think it? Do you think this is a situation that the NBA need to look into more than it has?
I do because this isn't just like Draymond barking at this one ref, like, or then another ref and another ref. This is like you two have been doing this for years. It's been very consistent, and I've heard multiple different reasons because I'm not familiar with how the beat started. I just know it's been there. So hearing how it started, it was basically like they rigged the game. Like he rigged the game against Chris Paul. Don't quote me on that. I'm not too completely sure because I don't know the whole story because don't nobody give the whole story, not even Chris Paul. And I think he's
Yeah,
someone who's very outspoken, but I wish that he would be like, this is what happened instead of like, oh yeah, I don't like him. But this does need to be looked into because I know on Gilbert Arenas' podcast, they just talked about, oh, just don't let him ref his games. To me, that's not solving the problem.
all right.
That's like if a kid is picking on a kid and bullying him and calling him names, you just tell him, hey, don't worry about it. But they're still doing it. Like
Yeah,
you're not addressing the actual problem. So personally, I think that Scott Foster needs to get looked into. I do think that he should get fired. This isn't a bias against the ref. This is a clear display of like you have an issue with this person and it has affected games.
yeah.
This just hasn't been you not liking somebody. And I think that it's bad for business, but people will argue, well, it'll be bad for business if you fire him. Like, oh well, refs, I hate to say it, refs are expendable. We can just get a new one in here. But it's at the point now where it's like, okay, y'all just letting this shit slide. And if I was Chris Paul, I wouldn't like it, and I would definitely be vocal about it.
Facts. Yeah. I know he mentioned Chris Paul mentioned in a press conference where I think it was a press conference right after the game. He mentioned that it was personal between them two. But pretty much it revolves around his child. I'm not
Hmm.
sure which one. Um, but I know they mentioned it on Gilbert Arenas, Gil's Arena, where he said that I think it was after the game or something or during halftime. The refs was in the cart.
Mm-hmm.
ran backstage and pretty much told the kid, I think, don't quote me on this, but I think it was like get the fuck out the way or some shit like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, Chris Paul had a issue with it. I think any father would have an issue with an adult talking like that to a kid. So
Yep.
I see where the beef come from. And similar to what you said, I want to say it was the first episode or the second episode, just how refs shouldn't be too emotional when it comes to calling these like technical fouls and everything like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
just walk away. Like if he walked down behind the goal,
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul can't come down there with you.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like he can't come down there with you. So it's like just walk away from the situation, and then you're sitting there having a conversation with them. Of course, the player is not going to stop. Like you sitting there egging it on. Like, come on now. So I think similar to what you said, like a lot of these refs is too emotional. But him, Scott Foster specifically though, I think I mentioned him before in the doc. He was one of the refs when it came to the Tim Donaghy, what's his name?
Mm-hmm.
Donaghy. Um, he was one of the refs in that doc. So it's like you can't tell me that shit that was happening 15 plus years ago is still not happening today. Like,
Mm-hmm.
come on now. Cause so yeah, I think the NBA definitely needs to look into it more. But the argument that the NBA would say is because refs they grade refs on their
Mm-hmm.
assignments, so they look back at all of that and would say, you know, the calls that he made, like 8% was correct or something like that. So
Yep.
that works in that works in his
Mm-hmm.
defense. So it's hard, um, but it also make you think, are they working like the NBA and the refs working together in a sense?
I think so. And I think it's one of those things where it could it could be they're not working together because fuck Chris Paul. It's like they're working together because these are still people with jobs at the end of the
Mm-hmm.
day. Um, but it's one of those things where like it can't excuse anything because ironically, I've been going through the situation in real life where it's like we assume that this one person who brings up this issue just has the issue when we don't see how this can affect other things. Like, who's to say Scott Foster won't do this to so and so, or so and so, or so and so? Like, and especially if I'm someone who also believes in patterns, you
Mm-hmm.
know, like what's the phrase like once is a coincidence, twice is something, three times is a pattern. Like I forget how that go. That's what I'm a believer in. This has been a consistent pattern, not with just Chris Paul, but it's been accounts with, like you said, other players have mentioned things like this. Other things have been said. So I do not think that the NBA is doing their due diligence in their situation, in this situation. I really don't. The last time I think the NBA actually took initiative against the referee was when they fired that run ref for gambling back with the Kings and Lakers series.
Thanks. Oh man, what is this? But yeah, even not even with just Scott Foster. When you just look at some of the games, some of of course, the refs I don't know their name, but when you just it's like I think it was this season that Tatum had got a tech called on him, and he didn't
Mm-hmm.
even do nothing. Like you look back at that and be like, what was the reason for that? So you see those calls like that, and you be like, do you got something on this game like that?
Yep.
That shouldn't have caused you to for that player to receive a tech.
Yep.
And then like especially like the back to back techs, like
Mm-hmm.
Jaylen Brown had just got ejected the other day.
Yep.
And I was like, yo, that's not one, that's not even necessary.
Yep.
Like, come on now.
And like Ime shouldn't have been thrown out the game either.
Facts. Yeah, so it's a lot. I think it's a lot to look into. That I'm not sure who can bring that to the forefront. Can the don't the NBA have like a players
Yeah.
association?
They
Because
have yep,
yeah,
and the president has to bring up those issues.
ain't that Chris
But
Paul?
I think it's Jaylen Brown now.
Oh,
I
I think
could,
so. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's Jaylen Brown now. But it's one of those things where I do not think that the issue is big enough for the NBA to be like, okay, this is a problem. Because it's no secret that refs can and have bet on these games. It's no secret in that. We all know
Mhm.
that. But it's one of those things where it's like, and I'm always going to stand on this. If the call does not affect the game of basketball, don't blow that goddamn whistle. Like when LeBron and Ime was going back and forth, just let them talk.
Yeah.
Like just whatever. Like if it escalates, okay, cool. But they was walking away from each other anyway. Like LeBron was about to move over. They was just talking. If you was the ref, okay, if that was slowing the game down, like, all right, Brian, all right, fellas, all right. Down the
Yeah.
court. Just do that. Keep the game moving. You didn't have to whistle.
I wanna,
For
but
what?
did coach have tech before that? I'm trying to figure out
Yes.
how he got
Yes.
tossed in the game.
I forgot how he got his first tech, but that was his second one. It was right
Okay.
there.
Gotcha. Yeah. But yeah, similar to what you said, like just let them talk. One of these, can we stop acting like these not grown ass men?
Yep.
Like, come on now. Like, come on. These are grown ass men. It's a physical game. Everybody want to win.
Yep.
It's more, we should hear the trash talk that we talk
Mm-hmm.
in middle school,
Yep.
in high school. Like, come on now.
I
Like
just
we,
hate how, oh, I'm sorry, my bad.
no, you good. You good.
I just hate how the perception is if you let them talk, they're gonna fight. Like, no, sometimes I'm just
No.
someone's just talking shit to me. Like, oh, and if you're a type of player, either you're gonna talk back and play, or you're gonna talk back and play harder, you're gonna talk back and play the same, or you're not gonna say nothing. You know how many times Kevin Garnett would talk shit to Tim Duncan in his face, and Tim Duncan's just like, all
Just
right.
smile at him.
That's it.
Then give him a bucket.
That's it. Like the Western Conference Finals with the Rockets and the Warriors. Chris Paul was talking all types of shit to Steph. And
Mm-hmm.
Steph just played, got in his face and everything. Steph just
Everything.
kept playing. Like it's you. I get the need to make sure that things don't escalate because
Right.
that is part of your job as a referee. But we got to stop assuming every time players go back and forth, it's a fight. Like
Yeah.
if we're at a distance from each other, and it's just like, man, you can't fucking guard me. Like, man, shit, I ain't worried about your ass anyway. Like, I don't need to call a tech for that. But if
It's like
y'all get
Luca and Chris Dunn the other night. How Chris Dunn
exactly,
got in his face and Luca just bagged up.
yep,
And I don't even know how he received tech for
no, but
it.
that's bit my issue. It's like things like that. That's not tech worthy. If you do some shit like when Patrick Beverly pushed the shit out of Chris Paul when his back was turned, oh, that's an ejection.
Yep.
Like even though that was after the game, if that was in game, oh yeah, that's a tech. That's an ejection. You out the game. But if I look up to you, it's like you on that bullshit tonight, and then we just like talk back and forth. It's like, man, look, can't nobody over there guard me anyway. Like the water boy can do a better job guarding me. I shouldn't get a tech for that.
It's basketball talk. But I think it comes to, how, players get on analysts and those people where it's like maybe these refs never actually been in the game before. Maybe these
Mm-hmm.
refs never actually played any type of competitive sports before. And they don't really know the basketball culture and how things, how things go in the league, especially a
Mm-hmm.
professional league. Like, come on now. Like,
Yep.
you got to get past that.
And even then, in those situations, players will interject before, like, all right, now, y'all, we're gonna keep playing. We're gonna keep playing. Like, I think that sometimes they don't get that other adults are on the floor too who could potentially de-escalate the situation.
Yep.
But
It's like, and it's like you just going back to the LeBron situation. LeBron ain't gonna do nothing.
no,
Like we already know that's not even in LeBron's character. Like no matter what anybody would say to him, of course he'd probably say something back, but he's not gonna put his hands on nobody.
no,
So
no, and Ime won't neither because it's like
yeah,
I'm a coach.
I'm a
Like,
coach. You have to realize that, man. But yeah, I think the rest just be doing too much.
yes, absolutely,
They,
especially the past few years.
yeah, they just want a spotlight for the most part.
Mm.
Like, ain't nobody talking about us, so let's get involved in the game.
Yeah. But it's like this is, and I hate to extend this conversation a little more, but this is why I'm not crazy about Adam Silver being a commissioner. He's too busy trying to people please.
Mm, I forgot who some other people had mentioned that before, just how the difference between Adam Silver and David Stern. Like Adam
Hmm.
Silver he just want to make seems like he just want to make everyone happy.
Yep.
He want to build relationships with these people and everything like that. With David Stern is like, hey, this how shit gonna go,
Hmm.
and y'all ain't gonna tell me not to,
Yep.
But yeah, I forgot who mentioned that before, but I get it. Like just looking back at just how he's been how he's commissioned the NBA, I can agree to that. He just he need a mean bone in his body. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Even with the John Morant situation, um, it seems like he was calm about it. I feel like David Stern would have gave a crazy.
Oh, David Stern would have went off on his ass. Like, you was doing what?
Probably would have kicked that man out for a whole season.
No, seriously.
David Stern wasn't playing those games.
So
R.
I'm
P.
right there with
R.
him.
R. Peter Stern. R. Peter Stern.
No, seriously. Like, bring him and Kobe back. That's all I need.
Big
That's
fact.
all I want for Christmas.
Big facts. Big facts. But I did want to get into Zion a little bit.
Hmm.
Um, I think it's been a constant thing now where they talk about diet and conditioning.
Hmm.
Um, Chuck always going in, Shaq always going in, and it seemed like I think like the past 2 days a report from the team came out where it's like he's not in the best shape. He needed to focus more on his diet and conditioning. And then um, this morning I seen that his former trainer had
Hmm.
posted something on his story. They had posted that pretty much that flyer on his story, and then after that had posted Zion at the beginning of the season.
Hmm.
I'm like, how do you go from this to this and you're active? Like,
Yeah.
how do you gain weight when you're active? Like, I don't get that.
Well, part of it is too, is like because they were explaining this on one sports podcast, is when you're on the road for the NBA, we don't think about that they're traveling and you're eating at these different places. It's like, if you're going from California to Toronto to New York and to New Orleans, there's a lot of good food out there. And you're not eating usually with like a private chef or the team, whoever. You're going to restaurants, you're going to places, and ain't nobody there calorie counting. You hungry, like, so that's one factor of it too. But I just think Zion don't want to be accountable.
You
It's
don't.
it's like, bro, your all of your injuries have been lower body injuries, mostly your knees. And everyone has said it's also been linked to your weight. Like they were retraining him how to walk, they were getting him reconditioned, teaching him how to, like, when you dump.
Don't know how to land and everything of
Yep,
those nature.
all of that. And I don't know. I've been saying Zion a bust. I'm still gonna say that, but it's just like, bro, at this point, it ain't even about your basketball career. It's about your life.
Yeah. I excuse me, I'm not gonna go that far with the bus, but
Oh, it is there. Come on,
nah,
bro.
you can't say that. You can't say that.
Yes. What has
Especially
he done
I mean, especially after yeah, he's already been an all-star.
by
Excuse
popularity?
me.
Not by talent, by popularity.
You don't think so?
No,
I thought
by
I thought he deserved
popularity.
it. I thought he
No,
deserved that all-star selection.
no. It's like it's the name and what he did in high school and Duke. His NBA career has been decent, but it's just like all I'm seeing is Blake Griffin in the Clippers. That's just what it is. It's the highlights bring the show. but his skills are still underdeveloped. He not a good ball handler. His jump shot is really not consistent. He doesn't have a low post game. The only thing he's got is dunks and fast breaks. Like he can drive the ball, but what helps is he's just big as fuck.
See, I can't.
Like,
Excuse me. I can't argue with the development part because we really haven't seen development. But
you
those
know,
first 2 years, he was good. I think teams probably just caught on now. They see that he can't do anything.
mm,
I think with Zion, he needs to get in the paint more, seal people off, and
mm,
you work the offense like that. With him with the ball at the top of the key, it doesn't help. It doesn't help the Pelicans, not at all.
yeah,
Um, um, his shooting was good at the start of his career. I haven't seen much the past year, season or two. Um, yeah, I think. We started this conversation just because I feel like because of his conditioning. Like
yeah,
I don't think Zion is that committed as we
no,
think he is. I think a lot of times we pit because he was a big prospect. I feel like he was a bigger prospect than Victor.
yeah,
I'm not even gonna lie.
I agree.
I think he was a bigger prospect than Victor.
I can
But
agree to that.
I think a lot of people don't want that spotlight. A
Yeah,
lot of people just want to. Some people just they just got the love for the game. They
hmm,
feel like this is a avenue where they can be themselves, take care of their family, and things of that nature. They don't
hmm,
even care about the extra stuff. Um, so I think with Zion, he's just out there at this point.
yeah, yeah,
I don't see Zion. It's it's tough to say, but I don't see him being the way he's going. I don't see him being a Hall of Famer.
no, no. I hope that he stays healthy. I can see him, still making some all-star teams, making like all NBA second team, maybe all NBA first team, but definitely like all NBA second team. Um, doing pretty good in the playoffs if his health and his conditioning can be good. I do not see him as a Hall of Famer, but I do see him as someone who can be productive on a good team.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like,
Do you think
uh,
that the system that they have in New Orleans works well? Well,
that's a great question because I feel like I'm in the middle with that of like if you put him somewhere like Orlando, well, I want to say put him somewhere like Charlotte right now, like him and LaMelo Ball in Charlotte. Oh, he will be flourishing way, way, way more. But you also have other good pieces around you in New Orleans. You got Brandon Ingram, who everyone when he came to the league compared him to KD. You got other good pieces around you on the team. You have I think they're still also finding their culture as a team now ever since AD left too. But talent wise, I think he's surrounded by good talent.
yeah,
It's just that team is missing something. I don't know what it is, but they're missing something.
yeah. Because yeah, true. Because I feel like they have what's his name, Herb Jones. He's a good defensive player.
Hmm.
Um, of course, you have a veteran in CJ. Well, I guess you can say Ingram too, because shit,
Hmm.
he been in the league for what, like 7, 8 years now.
Yeah.
Um, I think I think the league and New Orleans are they want to force Zion to be the best, even though I think he has the potential to if he's healthy.
Hmm.
They want to force him to be the best player on the team.
Yeah.
Um,
I agree.
and I feel like it can go back and forth between Ingram, him and Ingram. I don't think, even though CJ we know what CJ can do. I don't think he's that player anymore.
Yeah.
So I think between Zion and Ingram, those are two players that needs to be accept like great every single night.
Yep.
What's his name? What's the center name?
Who's there now?
Yeah,
Let me look it up. Um,
is it like Jonas? What's his name?
no, Valanciunas.
Balish. Yeah. I
Yeah.
think he's not a top five center or anything like that, but he produces. Like
Yeah.
he does his job there, especially with the rebounding and everything like that.
Hmm.
But like you said, it's like what else do the Pelicans need? Um, maybe some shooters. Maybe some shooters to maybe some shooters so they can spread the floor some more, and then with Zion, you know, if the floor is spreading more, Zion, because like you said, he's not a great dribbler, but
Hmm.
he can use his size and the speed that he do have to um penetrate to the basket and get buckets that way. um but yeah, I'm not sure what else they need at this
Yeah.
moment. At this moment. But yeah, I don't see. Yeah, the way Zion is going right now, I don't see him elevating in the next couple seasons.
Yeah, it's just, and the reason I'm so hard on Zion being a bust is because despite the injuries, he's not doing anything to get back to being productive. Like he's not keeping himself in shape. He's not being accountable because people were saying the same stuff about Joel Embiid and Bradley Beal at their beginning of their careers that they were busts, but they were still working. They just had bad luck with injuries. He's had bad luck with injuries, but he ain't really been working.
Right.
And we've seen that and we hear that from multiple sources, people who work with you. So, but regardless of what I said about him being a bust, I just hope that the man is just stays healthy or gets healthier for his long-term life,
Yeah.
not his career.
Facts. I agree. All right, Zion, get your shit together, man.
No, seriously.
All right, so moving on from that. I know you brought up a question pretty much about GMs.
Hmm.
And pretty much you asked, do GMs give in to players too much? Me personally, I think some GMs may put the demands of players over the team sometimes,
Hmm.
but it could be because um, of the relationship they have with the player, or how the player's actions are affecting the team. Like
Hmm.
similar to, he's not a GM, but Daryl in the James Harden situation, he's not a
Yeah.
GM no more, I should say.
Yeah, he's not GM no
Um,
more.
but that situation like that is like, all right, cool. This is the best player you have on the team right now, but what he's doing right now is not helping us at all. One, like the way Harden was acting, I'm not sure if we can get anybody else
Hmm.
a key player here. And then two is like, okay, how is this messing up the morale of the team currently? Um, and then you just get to a certain point. You just get to a certain point where it's like, all right, let's let's give him what he wants, but at the same time,
Hmm.
don't, because he wanted to go back to Houston,
Yep.
but they was like, nah, we're not doing that. One, I wouldn't mind him going back to Houston. I don't know why he wanted to go back to Houston. I think I'm about to say just the party and stuff like that. But I think if you sent him back to the Houston, well, I don't know. I feel like Udoka is doing a decent job over there.
Hmm.
Surprisingly.
Yeah.
Um, so I think with the addition of Harden, it probably would have. Nah, they probably would have been a good playoff contender team, or at least play in. Um, but yeah, sometimes you just like with the GMs, because the GMs does that title. You do a lot for the team.
Yeah.
You got like it's a lot of things that fall under you.
Hmm.
So you have to do what's best for the team, even if it is giving the player what they want.
DMs do have a tough job. I would say that. It's just one of those things where you have different situations. It was like when Rob Pelinka got Pau Gasol for Kobe Bryant, so he wouldn't leave. Like that was a decision that didn't hurt the team for their trade. It helped the team. Then you got situations where, like you said, they didn't get what they want. Because like Kawhi Leonard, when he went to Toronto, I don't think Toronto is like number one on his list. Like, let's just be
Right.
real. They just threw his ass over there, and they also threw Danny Green in to make it look good. And then it turned around and working for them, but then ended up hurting the Spurs.
Right.
And then you have situations with James Harden. It's like addition by subtraction. All right, we let you go to the team you wanted to, but now we're winning and the team looks good, the morale is good, and you somewhere where you want to be, but it don't look that good. So the GM kind of won in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
But even though, like you said, we sent you where you want to go. So it's a case by case basis. However, I do think that it should stop being a trend because I don't know if I said this on Reaching and Teaching, but I definitely said this to some of my boys. I said, give it about another 2 years and B's leaving.
I can see
Like
that.
I'm saying, give it another.
Especially if they don't win, if they don't
Exactly.
win the
Like
finals.
exactly. Like if they don't go to the Eastern Conference Finals in the next 2 to 3 years, he's leaving. He's going somewhere else. It's and in that moment, the GM gotta be like, he got a
Yeah.
point. Like the GM probably gonna be like, no, in that situation.
Yeah.
But one second. Sorry about that. Noise
Yeah.
difficulties. But it's one of those things where you look at like David Lillard's situation. He's been loyal to the franchise. He's stayed. He played well, and then now he wants to leave. It's one of those things where it's like, I'm not mad at him wanting to leave. Like,
And he's been loyal. We haven't done what we said we was gonna do.
e-
So
exactly. But then you get James Harden. You don't commit. You're not showing up. You bullshitting. eh, But then you want to leave. Why would I want to give you what you want in this situation? And you got things in the middle where it's like Kawhi, he's done a lot, he's played well, he's won some chips, but he has been missing games. He hasn't seemed really enthused with being around the team. It's like that middle between those situations where like he has done some stuff for us, but I ain't like how he been acting.
yeah.
So I'm still gonna do what I want to do it anyway as the GM. So it's a case by case basis. I just don't want it to keep being a trend.
Right. Yeah. Similar to what you said, like if you players like Dame, players like Embiid, who else currently? I can't think off the top of my head, but you have those loyal players like that. You can't argue with them. Like they've been there. Um, they've played to the best. They played to the fullest potential, um, and they've been patient with the organization to put stars around them um, to make the team better, so they can contend for the championship. If it doesn't work out, cool.
Mm-hmm.
You did what you were supposed to do. Now, we're gonna grant you, whatever you feel like you want to do. We're gonna make that happen for you. But in like a James Harden situation, yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's like those people that just like do the most.
Yeah.
Like, and I think I mentioned this before. It's like yes, you're James Harden. Um, you can still facilitate, you can still shoot. You're not as athletic as you were
Mm-hmm.
before, but you're not the same player.
Yeah.
Let's remember that you're not the same player. Um, in the playoffs, you disappeared.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so it's like it's how are you requesting demands where you're when you're not producing like you're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so like since what you said, hopefully it doesn't continue like that, but you never know. You never know. You never know.
That's true.
But before we get into some serious topic, I want to go back to our record from last show.
Sweet.
So these are games from November 19th through the 25th. Both of us finished 4-2. The Lakers defeated the Rockets, Suns defeated the Jazz, Celtics defeated Bucks, Suns defeated Warriors, Lakers defeated the Cavs, and Clippers defeated the Mavs. So so tomorrow NBA TV we have the Mavericks versus the Grizzlies.
Oh, Mavericks. No question. That's
Easy
easy.
breakup.
No
Same.
question. Luka gonna get either a big double-double or a triple-double.
And they had a triple double in the first half the other night.
Man, that man cooking more than grandma at Christmas. Let me tell you something right there.
Yeah, that boy balling. How do you think the Grizzlies will be once Ja get back?
I think that they'll be better than what they are, but they'll still they have to still find their rhythm because now it's like, okay, your starting lineup is who now? You had Ja, of course. So you start Marcus Smart, you start Desmond Bain, and you start Triple J. Like, who's that third person? Then, of course, because Steve Adams is still out. So then you have, all right, then we got to get the bench situated with Derrick Rose and all them. So it's still gonna be some lineup adjustments. I when he gets back, I give them 10 games to get it together.
Respect. So Tuesday, December 12th, TNT games. First game we have is Lakers Mavericks.
I'm actually gonna go with the Mavericks on that one.
Okay.
I don't know why. Something telling me to go. I can go get with Luka. I gotta go with that. It's a bad brother right there.
Thanks. Let's see what I want to go with. I'm gonna go LA this one.
Okay.
Then we had the Warriors versus the Suns. I feel like they done played each other 20 times already.
No, for real. Hey, dang.
Dang.
They just snuck it in there. Hey, let them play 8 times this
year. Dang. So yeah, Warriors versus the Suns.
I'm going to Suns.
Same. Cause I don't think the Warriors beat them yet this season, if I'm not
No.
mistaken. Then Wednesday, December 13th, NBA TV, Lakers Spurs.
Lakers. That's the first time we played the Spurs, right?
Excuse me.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should be good. That should be good.
Yeah, because we played them. Because we actually played them twice in 1 week. And then Thursday, December 14th, NBA TV, we have Celtics. Well, we have Cavs versus the Celtics.
I'm gonna say that the Cavs are gonna upset the Celtics that game.
I'm gonna go Celtics.
Okay.
Just for the home team. Then we have the Warriors versus Clippers.
Ooh. The biggest key in that game is how Russ is used. Because if Russ is not used properly in that game, they lose it. But I'm gonna go with the Clippers.
Okay. Excuse me. I'm gonna say the Clippers too, just because the Warriors. I don't even think they're in. I don't even think they're in top 10 currently.
No.
They've been playing. They haven't been playing the best. The supporting cast. I mean, when you look at Moody and what's his name, Kuminga, they've been doing decent off the bench. Consistent numbers off the bench.
Mm-hmm.
But then you look at Clay.
Yeah, the Warriors are 11th.
Yeah, so I feel like the only person playing good basketball is Steph.
Yep.
Wiggins is not consistent. Clay is not consistent. And then Draymond, what he do as a player is like he's not a scorer, so it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't. If the other two if the other two doesn't do what they're supposed to do, then what he does doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Hey, I'm just looking at all these stats. God damn, dog, get it together.
And then Friday night, December 15th, is ESPN. Um, we have Lakers and Spurs again.
Mm-hmm. Lakers again.
Facts. Then we have the Knicks versus the Suns.
Hmm. Actually, yes. No. I'm going to Suns. I'm going to Suns.
I'm actually going. I'm gonna go to Knicks that game.
Okay.
Um,
You
only reason I
know,
say that is because it's like, I mean, the Knicks is the Knicks, but they actually been playing good basketball.
it's just Julius Randle been doing good.
Yeah, and once again, I'm not sure the health factor of the Suns.
Mm-hmm.
Devin Booker is in and out,
Yeah,
so you never know.
that's true.
And then, Robinson, he's good on the boards, a rim protector. So, and then Saturday we have Hawks and the Cavs.
Hawks. Give me the Hawks.
I'm going. I'm going Cavs.
All right.
And
You know,
then
I hate to interrupt, but
I'll go
real
ahead.
quick, I was thinking about this because I know I responded to it. I still think that the Warriors need to trade Clay. I do. I can see why people say no, and I don't understand why, but I just think that Clay not who he used to be, which is perfectly fine, but I don't think he wants to admit that. And I think that's what's holding him back.
Yeah, and
Like,
then and then
mhm,
he has the and pretty much he has the pressure on him this
mhm.
season, so he can get a new contract
Yep.
next season. So when you add all those factors in like that,
Yeah.
and you're not playing to your full potential is going to be hard on you. So it's like, yeah, I'm not against trading Clay.
No, I think it's Clay got to realize it's like, hey, your 17 points a game is still valuable.
Mm-hmm.
It's still valuable. It's just you can't give us 17 shooting 30%. That's the thing. Give us 17, shoot like 35, 37. That's cool. But then now it's on like those other players to pick it up.
Yep, I'm not against it. And then the last game is the Jazz versus the Kings.
Oh, the Kings.
Big facts. All right, so on to a more kind of serious topic. Definitely want to get into the Josh Giddey
Mm-hmm.
situation. Allegedly, he had an improper relationship with an underage girl. The NBA was investigating the situation. Um, what are your initial thoughts, and do you think the NBA is handling it properly?
I think that the NBA is handling it properly, but the media is handling. Okay, actually, no. Let me fix that. They are given the perception that they're handling it properly, which is to we keeping it in house. We're gonna do some investigating. We're gonna see what's going on, and we're gonna allow the league and or the team to give him his punishment if he's guilty. My problem is that hasn't been across the board with everybody
Right.
because I'm not a big person to use race in things like this, but I do think that it's an element here because like look at like Mikal Bridges. He's back in Charlotte now. Not Mikal, but Miles Bridges. Like, he's back in Charlotte, he's back playing, but it took this long for an alleged situation. Well, there's gonna be a YouTube, this alleged DV situation. So, but they threw the book at him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Same thing with dude who was on the Spurs, who it was like some
Oh,
uh
I know you're talking about. I can't think
yeah,
of his name right now.
yeah, like they threw the book at him. Um I didn't think that through the book hard enough for John Morant, but oh well. That's just me. But it's just with Josh Giddey, it's like we want to handle this, we want to make sure it's right. But you haven't punished him like you did these black athletes. That's where my issue is. It's like, okay, like Bridges, when he had his situation, how come he was basically out the league? But with this situation, we want to take our time with it and he can still play. I don't like that. I think that it is proper for them to be like, hey, we're going to handle this. I don't have an issue with them handling it. I have an issue with how they're presenting it to everybody. And now you got other people going, let them handle their business, blah, 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 blah. But when this was this black dude, yeah, oh yeah, that nigga done. That nigga done. Yep. He never dribbled another basketball in his day in his life. He can't even play basketball in 2K no more. Like, I just think that that's very unfair. I hope that it's not true because I am an advocate for men because I do see men get bullshitted
Yep.
by somebody lying. And I hope that this is that situation other than him actually doing it. But if he actually did it, he has to pay the consequences and repercussions.
Facts. Yeah. So of course, you always want to be careful with these types of situations. So
Mm-hmm.
my initial thought was, when you talk about a big corporation like the NBA, the rumor started on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to be careful about those. Like
Yep.
a lot of people don't take social media serious,
Or they take
um,
it too seriously.
or take it yep, or take it too seriously. So it's like I don't, I'm not sure. Somebody could be lying on this man.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and of course we don't victim blame or anything like that.
Yep.
But we seen it in the past where it has happened. Um, but then I was like, but then I seen that um not the NBA, but another police department was looking into it, and
Mm-hmm.
then the NBA got into it. So I was like, okay, maybe this is something serious. Um, and then more information came out. I think this is my issue with it
Mm-hmm.
is Giddey is currently 21.
Yeah.
Um, he's currently 21. They allegedly they said the girl in the picture was um 15 at the
Mm-hmm.
time. But then he came out and said this was 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so even if it was 2 years ago, she's only 17 now.
Yep.
So in the US, well, let me take that back.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to also consider even though I hate it, we have to consider the consent age.
Yes.
Um, and I think this was happening in Australia, I believe.
Yeah. His home
Um,
country.
yeah, so I think someone told me, y'all fact check me on this. I think somebody told me the consent age over there is 16.
I'll check.
Um, so I mean that changes, but it still doesn't. It's like, come on now, you gotta do better than that. Um,
Yep. 16 to 17.
so yeah, so you were still, it's still a crime. She wasn't even if it was 2 years ago, because she's fine now, but 2 years
Yeah.
ago she was still under the age.
Yeah.
So when that information come out, when that information come out, the NBA has to take action because now it's like, okay, um, now this is a bigger thing that we're dealing with, and but it also doesn't help when the parents of the person don't want to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of hard for any the NBA or any type of police department to do anything if the parents don't want to speak out.
Mm-hmm.
But this is also my other issue is they said what he said he met her at a nightclub.
Yep.
So with that being said, it's like if you're in a nightclub, I expected you to be the appropriate age where
To
you're in
be in here.
there to be
Yep.
in there. you're having a good time, you're drinking, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so why would I ask for your age?
Yep.
Especially in a nightclub. Who
Mm-hmm.
asks for your age in a nightclub? So that's another thing too, and it's like, ah, like
Oh, the bartender. That's just it. That's the only person who asks you for your age in a nightclub. That's it.
facts. That is facts. Yep. So now it's like he's in the wrong, but I don't even know how to word it because I don't want to say the wrong thing. It's like he's in the wrong. Well, they're both. I feel like they're both in the wrong.
It's a lot of gray area in this
Yeah,
situation.
I feel like they're both in the wrong because one, she's still underage, but two, she's in this nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
Why is she in a nightclub? And that's and we know people
Mm-hmm.
like that. Like
Yep.
we've been in MSU in
Yep.
high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Well, I did. My teammates did, but I
so it's
didn't.
man, it's a lot of people that's accountable in the situation. It's like one,
Mm-hmm.
then we got to get to you have to talk to the parents. You got to ask them why is your daughter in a nightclub,
Yep.
but then you got to ask Giddey. It's like one, did you know? You might not didn't know originally, but did you know her age or any other type of information after that? Because you look you look stupid, my boy.
Mm-hmm.
If it was a one night stand, why am I on your snap?
Yep.
That doesn't even make sense. So it kind of make me assume that you had a deeper relationship
Mm-hmm.
with this female. Because if it's just a one night stand, why are you taking a picture of me? I don't
It
care.
could also, with that too, I didn't mean to cut you out, like, with that
Oh,
too, it could also just be attention. Because let's be real, like, people now, not everybody, but some people that love attention. Like, look at like Mariah Mills, the adult film actress, putting
no, for
Zion
sure.
on blast. It's like we don't know when y'all had sex, nor do we care.
We don't.
But it had to be, it's something because it happened right as it was announced that, him and the girl he with now are having a kid together. Now all of a sudden she say something. So it's just, it could be attention. It's a like I said, it's a real big gray area because like something else I also heard is that she's 19 now. So this was 2 years ago, and then she was 17, which is the legal age of consent over there. So,
Dang,
but I don't know if that's true or not. I just
yeah.
heard
So
it.
it's a lot of so it might be a lot of miscommunication
Yep.
coming out, and that's why it's like with those situations, like you want to take the allegations seriously, but you
Mhm.
also want to wait until all the facts. You also want to wait till all the facts come out.
Exactly.
Because I didn't hear that.
Yep.
I haven't heard that. I only heard that she was 15 at the time, and this
Hmm.
was 2 years ago. So that made me think she's 17 now. But I didn't hear that she was 19.
Yep. But
So
the other thing
yeah,
that doesn't help with this situation is that her and her family have elected not to talk to the media or the police.
yeah,
That makes it look way different too. So it's like, dang, okay, this could be anything. Like it really could be nothing, and you just want the cops and media to leave you alone, or you hiding something.
yeah.
Like we don't know. So it's
One,
a
why would it come out 2 years later? Like if this was a thing,
yeah.
why would it come out
And
2 years later?
and even if like, you know, basically he didn't assault her.
Right.
And what we're gathering is everything that transpired was consensual.
Central. Yeah.
So that's like the other tough part too of like, she was in a nightclub, I was fucked up, she was fucked up, we ain't know, I smashed, and she just took a picture of me. They both wrong and both right in the same instance. Because like you said, who gonna be in the nightclub? How you doing, sweetheart? You 21? No, I just need to ask before I fuck you. Like, do you know hear how crazy that
Mm.
sound?
Like get the fuck on my face. Like why?
Like it's like we're just, and I'm speaking for me, I'm not speaking for Derek, I'm not speaking for some brothers, I'm not speaking for a regional teacher. We gotta think in these situations, there's probably not a lot of thinking going on. Like, especially if it is consensual. If you consent and we can go do what we gotta do, not a lot of people gonna second guess it.
Right.
So it's just we're just dealing with unknown knowns. And it's tough dealing with unknown knowns because now we got to make them known to the known so they won't continue to be unknown.
Facts. I think what people have a problem with him still playing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I once again it's hard because I don't know the age she really was. But at the same time, if it is with this type of allegation, um, why hasn't the team been like, hey, maybe you should sit out a few games. You still get paid,
Mm-hmm.
but let this situation be over and then come back.
Yep.
Clear minded, ready to play. Because as long as you play this is gonna linger
Mm-hmm.
over you until it's over, and it may affect your play.
Yep.
It may affect this team. So why don't you just sit out a few games until all of this is over? So
Yep.
I think that's what people are arguing about, that he shouldn't be playing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I'm like 50-50 on that, or maybe like 60-40 that he shouldn't be. Um, but yeah, let it all play. Let this play out in court. Like
Yep.
don't let it play out on social media.
I agree.
Don't let it play out on social media because we already know we already know what social media is about. Social media done killed people before they're bad. So you can't believe everything that's on social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my thoughts on it. I think the last thing we'll get into is our segment, reaching or teaching. Let me find a video so I could kind of remember. So this is I'm not sure what podcast he was on.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what podcast he was on? JJ Reddick.
Nah. Nah, not at this moment. It may have been his.
Got you.
It may have been the old man in the three.
So pretty much JJ Reddick was discussing with some people how he thinks we're stunting Americans' development of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll play it so you can hear it.
In America, we have antiquated rules around the gather step. So every kid in Slovenia and every kid in Spain, they're doing these basketball clinics and they're learning FIBA and NBA footwork. Fans that watch the NBA think it's the same travel rule in the NBA and FIBA as it is at your local YMCA in high school, and it's not. It's a different move. It's legal. I've tried to explain to people the gather step, and they say, no, it's still a travel. We need to change the rules in America. My 9-year-old son, who does he watch basketball highlights of? Luka, Jokic, Giannis, who use FIBA and NBA footwork. So why, when he goes to an AAU tournament, is he getting called for a gather step? We're stunting Americans' development of the game.
Mm.
So you brought this to me, sir. How you feel about it?
I'm gonna be honest. I think that JJ was teaching because it is drastic differences in how ball is played over there versus over here. Like it's a big thing on fundamentals overseas versus here. It's more so individualistic skills. Like if you look at trainers over here, they're teaching you how to hit the crossover, step back and pull it, how to create your own shot. A lot of if you look at people like Chris Brickley, like when he's working with athletes, it's just one-on-one stuff. They're not working on defense, they're not really working on footwork. They're more so working on best positions to get a shot and know how to create your own shot, which is very one-on-one individualistic. Versus over there, if you look at old videos of Dirk and his trainer, they're working on defensive slides. They're working on proper passes in situations like, no, this is the overhead, no, this is the bounce pass, no, this is a chest pass. They're working on all those some fundamental things, like even when it comes to scoring, such as post scoring, using the gather step, using a Euro step, things like that. So he's right in the sense that it should be universal in how it's taught. Because now if you use what he's talking about, his son's always gonna get called for that. it's not going to go by. Versus over there, if his son does that, oh, it's a bucket, or it was an attempted bucket. So I think JJ has a point. I think that a lot of young people and even um, younger kids and young people around my age, a little bit younger, who are playing college basketball or playing at the highest level, high school basketball, committing to college, they should fine tune those things so they don't stunt their growth as an athlete.
So you think? So you think in regards to the NBA and FIBA, all the rules need to be changed? So every all the rules need to be changed. So how we play over here is pretty much how we play over there, and how they play over there is pretty much how we play
Well,
over
yeah, because it's like, you look at the FIBA tournament, the United States team has to adjust to France, Germany, Greece, China. They have to adjust to them. But then, after that, and you play over there, then they come over here for a few months and they have to adjust to the NBA season. So adjustments aren't always terrible, but when it is to the game, that's the difference literally between winning or losing.
Right.
Not just me scoring 20 over there, but me getting 40 over here. It's actually like, okay, if they hadn't called the gather step to travel, that was the possession for us to tie the game because we haven't played good defense all game. So this was for us to tie it and to put pressure on them to score now. And let's say something like, 5 seconds on the shot clock. Okay, now we can press them, whatever we got to do, blah, 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 blah. So it literally changes how a game can turn out more than just the benefit of an individual player.
Gotcha. Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, I agree. Is definitely adjustments need to be made when you playing NBA and FIBA. I think with the NBA, well, one with the NBA is like the 3 pointers farther away. It's like longer games in the NBA, as well as like I think in FIBA you can stay in the restricted area longer than what you do in the NBA. So that changes the strategy that you have, playing over there. But I think it's funny that you brought it up because I wanted to ask, like, do you think professional sports have a negative impact on high school sports and below? And just with this specific um topic, me personally,
Mm-hmm.
I think JJ is reaching. Like when it just comes to the gather step, like if we
Mm-hmm.
just talking about the gather step, we have
Okay.
a long ways to go. Like we've always been taught we've always been taught the basics. We've always been
Mm-hmm.
taught you dribble, you take 2 steps. We've always been taught that. I think it's been like probably like the past probably like 5 years or so where the gather step has been uh emphasized more
Mm-hmm.
publicly. Like we've like in school, no one ever talked about no gather. But when we was in school,
Mm-hmm.
no one ever talked about no gather step. And then I wanted to do some more research, and then like I looked at it. I even went back and look at a compilation of Ginobili Euro steps.
Mm-hmm.
Like I was like, man, maybe let me see if he doing a gather step or something.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really see it. Then I looked at a video of this coach. I think it was like a college coach or something demonstrating the gather step, and he did it. I said, "You are traveling." Like I said, that is a travel.
Is it how he brought the ball up and then came over?
Cause he, all right. So he says like, so he was dribbling and then he picked the ball up. He stopped. Um, I'll show you the video after this.
Okay, okay.
I'll show you the video after this because the way I explain it, it will be crazy. But
Well, I got you.
when I seen it, and I'll probably post that at the end of this, just so y'all can know what I'm talking about. But yeah, I looked at that. I said, "You are traveling. That is not legal." Um, but yeah, just looking at that, I was like, well, one when he said it is like, I don't know if you, I don't know if you can blame it on Americans because as a coach, as somebody who coached like the past Well, this be my 6-year coaching.
Mhm.
Like coaching like youth league, middle school age kids. Like it's like you can't blame Americans. I kind of low key blame professional sports for the lack of development in our youth, because I feel like a lot of these kids, they don't necessarily look at sports through the same lens as somebody like me when I was growing up, or maybe somebody
Mhm.
like you. I can't speak for you. Um, but it's like they don't really study. Like
Yeah.
they just look at the
Highlights.
highlights
Yeah.
and stuff of that nature. And then, when I coached like the youth league, I coached the basics.
Mhm.
That's I pretty much sometimes that I do that throughout the whole season,
Yep.
because that's what they need, the basics.
Yep.
Um, but now it's like everyone, when you have the Steph Currys out there now. I think you brought that up before.
Mhm.
How do you think Steph ruined the game and shit like that? Now everyone wants to skip steps. Now
Yep.
everyone want to do the fancy stuff, anything, pretty much anything to get a highlight. And I
Mhm.
think we've moved into a era in basketball where it's like teams teams want to have the style of play like the Warriors and not the Suns. Like everyone guards and bigs wants to shoot like Steph,
Yep.
but no one wants to, or dribble like Kyrie, but no one wants to play like Tim Duncan.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you factor all of that in, it's like, are we the ones?
Mhm.
Of course you'll go back and say, well, you're the coach, so blah blah blah. Well, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I'm doing that. But once game time comes, and then you see these kids out there just want to shoot. Like you see it in practice. As soon as kids walk in the game, I always tell kids, when you're walking the game, walking like practice, whatever, especially
Mhm.
if you have time before practice, whatever your weakness is, that's what you should be working on before practice even start.
Mhm.
If you can't make a layup, if you can't make a left hand layup, that's what you should be doing before practice. If you
Mhm.
can't do a free throw, that's what you should be doing for practice. If you can't really dribble with a certain hand, that's what you should be doing before practice. But
Yep.
what you see when you walk in the gym, you see kids go straight to the 3-point line and start shooting. And then y'all think we are harsh on kids when we tell them, "Hey, you can't shoot.
Yep.
You can't shoot." Like, I'm
Mhm.
not trying to discourage the kids. I'm not trying to discourage kids, but it's facts. Like,
Yep.
we of course you have some kids that have the potential to shoot threes and whatever, but at the same time, it's still not at a high level. So it's like, hey, slide in,
Mhm.
slide in closer. How about go closer to the rim,
Yep.
work on your form more,
Mhm.
and then you can work your way backwards.
Yep.
And if you ever see me go in the gym until this day, I,
Mhm.
I I do so pretty much when on the blocks, I start on the
Mhm.
blocks. I start close. I do
Yep.
three on this side, three on this side, slide back,
Yep.
make three in a row on this
I do the
side,
same thing.
slide back.
I do the same thing, but I do 10.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
and then I go to the free throw line and do that before I pretty much, do
Mhm.
whatever. So it's like, okay, let me get my rhythm.
Yep.
So it's like I can't, with him saying we're studying the development, I can't really agree with that, because growing up, that's all we knew.
So
Two steps.
you don't agree with that as Americans. You agree that you think it's just pro athletes.
I think it's pro athletes. Cause like, let's be real, like, bro, that James Harden step back,
Mhm.
bro, we never. That's still something we got to look in closely. Like, I don't know, man. It looks like a travel to me.
It does.
It looked
Same
like
here.
it looked like a travel to me.
I forget LeBron did it in a game one time.
Oh,
He did it and then he shot it in the corner and missed it. I was like, no, he didn't. He said, fuck it. Let me.
so yeah, like James Harden did it. Then Curry tried to do it. They called it travel on him, and I think
Hmm.
Steve Kerr was on the side like, "Hey, Harden do it every single game."
Yep.
So it's like, and that's another thing too, especially when the refs don't call it consistently. So
Hmm.
how can you blame us when y'all don't even call it consistently in the league?
Yep.
and y'all be letting a lot of traveling happen in the league. So it's like,
Yeah.
don't put that on us. I
I
put that on y'all.
I think it's fair. I think that two things can be true at the same time, though.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it is basketball culture in America now is the flash, and who does that are the pro athletes.
Yeah.
And then you also have coaches, unlike yourself, who do enforce that. It's like if you got a kid who can shoot like Dame, you're gonna keep encouraging him to shoot like Dame. Like from damn near the logo, jacking that shit up. You ain't gonna teach them how to properly set a screen or know what a back screen is, know how to do an L cut or work on their ball handling or putting them through like things like that. It's like, hey, you can hit that bitch, shoot that bitch. But then it doesn't and then it doesn't help that you have coaches like yourself who teach them those other things and encourage them to work on their weaknesses. But all they see is people who make millions of dollars do what the fuck they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think two things can be true at the same time in this situation. But I'm with you on I'm not putting it on all Americans, but I still think JJ has a point of it is still part of the American basketball culture.
True.
So that's it.
Well,
Mhm.
I guess uh is it our responsibility to adapt to FIBA?
I don't think it's our responsibility, but I don't think it would hurt. Like just improve. I'm more so looking at the fact that fundamentals. I
Yeah.
don't think it would
And that,
hurt
and that's the thing
to
too. I feel like
keep
the
that up.
fundamentals need to be like the basics need to be the same all across the board.
Yeah.
Cause we tell like high school, middle school, whatever, to watch college
Hmm.
instead of watching the pros. Because in college you probably see more of the different defensive zones.
Hmm.
Just the fundamental of basketball, like the right way to play basketball.
Yep.
Um, yeah, so yeah, that's my take on it.
No, I definitely can get with that. I definitely can understand that.
Yep. All right, so it's pretty much all I got for this episode. You got anything else you want to discuss?
um, that one twin who's playing in Detroit right now is doing very well. He's doing very well right now. I just want to say that. That's all I want to say. I'm blanking on his name right now, but he's doing very good.
Facts. I know we're gonna have I mentioned before. I know we after All-Star weekend. I know some
Mhm.
of our early season predictions might have changed.
Yeah.
Oh, might have changed over the season. So we ain't gonna say it now, but we're gonna wait till after All-Star break and then
Hmm.
give our see if we want to stick with some of the early predictions that we had early in the season or see if it changed. So and y'all let us know as well. Like y'all whatever predictions y'all have for the awards at the end of the season, who's
Hmm.
playing well in y'all eyes, who y'all are most impressed with, um, or just whatever topics that y'all want us to cover
Hmm.
during the episode. But yeah, that's all I got. You want to give a shout out to your sponsors and everything?
Oh yeah, go ahead and check out my sponsors at Chale Clothing. That's CHALE Clothing, and then go check out my other one, Katana Creations. That's Katana underscore Creations with a K. Also check out Unfiltered Brothers store for their merchandise. They got shirts, they got wristbands. I think I got long sleeve and short sleeve shirts. So go check them out as well. All of it's all pouring back into people who want to just pour back into you. So check them all out.
Appreciate that, and of course we always appreciate the support. Like Aaron said, check out our podcast, Unfiltered Brothers, whatever streaming platform that y'all use or YouTube as well. Check out the Woke Podcast. Great conversations happens on both. New Year is around the corner. So just be on the lookout for, just some things that, we working on. But yep, y'all stay blessed, y'all stay safe, and we out here.
All right now.